Shut up and sit down.
Okay guys, so what I'm going to be doing today is stripping the frame. I'm going to start by pulling the sway bar off of both sides. Then I'll be pulling all of the drag link and tie rods and everything. Then the gearbox. Then we'll start pulling off the rest of the suspension, the control arms, the coil, shocks, spindle, and I'll be removing them back there to their braces that have no point. Motor mounts, they're coming off. And then we get to strip the frame down with a wire wheel. I'm also going to grind down some of these factory welds that look like crap and probably put some more welds back on there to strengthen it up a little bit. But we're going to get started with sway bar first. Pretty easy to start with. We're going to remove the end links off the sway bar first, which they can be on there a little stubborn, so hopefully, yeah, see, it's all spinning, so we'll have to hook it from the bottom. Reassemble these back on here for, might use them later, might not, never know. Okay, I'm missing a bushing somewhere. That's what I'm missing right there. There's one. There it is. Alright. Alright, put them up for later. I like to reassemble everything after I take it off because it's the quickest way for me to lose something if I don't put it back on. Especially when my car sits as long as it does. And the next thing we're going to take off is going to be this tie rod. We're actually not taking it off, we're just loosening it from the knuckle. Now again, all this stuff was new when I put it on here, which was about 5 years ago, so which doesn't make it very new, but it makes it to where, you know, there's still low miles, so I didn't drive it much after I put it all on. I don't want to take it all the way off yet. Just up to the top. And the trick with these is you smack the side of the spindle where it bolts on, it pops off. And that's going to be this area right here. So, as you saw, it just dropped right there. So, that's as easy as that is. Pop it off. I'm going to put the bolt back on it, of course. Alright, now that's the end links and the tie rod off. So now both sides are off on here. And that's usually a 10 bolted underneath. Let me see here. 10 bolted on the bottom side, you can see over there. It's right there, bolted from underneath on the, well, it's actually over here. Yeah, right there. Bolted underneath. And it's 2 10s is all I think it is on there. Pull it off both sides. Drop it. Alright, I'm going to get the sway bar off, and then we'll start with the pitman arm or idler arm. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the idler off, which is this, and we'll pull the drag link off the pitman arm, or vice versa, whichever one it is. It's the only thing bad about trying to build a really nice car is this part where you have to constantly take stuff off, put stuff on, check fit, paint, then try to reassemble without scratching that paint, and it's pretty annoying. Alright, I'm gonna have to get a bigger socket here. That one's about a 20 or something. This is basically the same. Just pull it off and knock it off. Sometimes you'll have to hit it downward to get it to break loose. Trying not to use a pickling fork, which most people know them things suck, but trying not to use one because it usually messes up the rubber seal. And as I said again, all this stuff's basically new, so there it goes. Good. I always usually put the nut back on so that way, you know, it's easy to replace a nut. It's not so cheap to replace like a drag link. It costs a little bit more. I will leave that loose for now. So that way I have to pull off the gearbox first. Come back on this side. There. Pull off the idler. There we go. Pull these bolts up. Try to anyway without losing them. Okay, there's that one. I'll fish them out with the needle nose here in a second. But now, let's pull off the gearbox. Let's see, I'm probably gonna have to impact that thing off, I would say. Okay. There we go. I'd say this thing's probably going to be pretty heavy, so I'll watch it when I play catch with it. To my knowledge, as I've never been off the car, but who knows? I mean, it's 26, 25 years old. Things been off here 1,000 times for all I know. One day I'll be able to get some tools I need, like a short, oh god, a short impact. Alright, well, I'm going to finish taking that off and put it over in the storage room with the rest of the stuff. And then we'll get started on dropping the, well, pulling shocks, springs, control arms, and motor mounts. Getting this thing up in the air. All that steering and sway bars off. Now we got to pull shock out first, then pull the spring off, followed by brakes, and then the control arm. Sorry, I got the hiccups here. Alright, so hopefully it goes easy and they come off easy, because 9 times out of 10 that shaft with the small single bolt on top turns, and when it does that, you're basically screwed. That means a real fight's coming. And it looks like it's spinning just like I said. Probably jinxed myself. keep spinning. That's awesome. So that means now I gotta drop the bottom and put a pair of vice grips on there to hold it, because it's really hard to get it from the top when you're holding the that little, I don't know, the note they give you at home. If that was a bolt head, it'd be easy. I'd hold it with, I'd put the impact on the bolt head and I'd bring it off, but it's not. So, it's a 14, unless I can get through here with it. Nope. Forever. Yeah. So, what we gotta do there now, which means them shocks are pretty much toast now. No biggie. I want to put coilovers on it anyway. So now I gotta jack it up to get them bolts off the bottom, which is fun. Especially considering the jack in the older cars is the actual shock. I have to jack up the suspension